Yes, people. Today is me and Sava. Mo is in the doghouse. We can't talk too much on that, but he will be returning at some point. But me and Sava are going to be here talking to you about what's gone on lately. With Trent Alexander-Arnold out for potentially 2 to 3 weeks with a potential hamstring injury, meaning he might be a doubt for the Spurs game, which is going to be massive because Trent's literally just been finding his feet. And obviously Liverpool don't be needing that right now with Canate and etc. But it's not all doom and gloom. Colwill, defending Mauricio Pochettino already. Is that a good sign? I'm going to dive into a bit of Chelsea. What it really means behind the message between me and Sava, and maybe what can be solved around the Chelsea camp anyways to further and have better results ultimately. And then also Antony, which is the most trending topic right now. Should he go to Getafe alongside another man who likes to be abusive? But again, there's always, different sides to the story. But we're going to talk about some Malwams right now. Sava has a case of Malwams. He didn't want to share any. Big up to everyone in the comments as well. So what's your favorite flavor of Malwam? What's your favorite flavor?
Listen, I was just moaning to you that I've got a whole pack of Malwams. There's like 25 or something. And I've got oranges galore, greens galore. And then I've got one red. I've got one strawberry and one cherry throughout the whole pack. That's really disappointing. So listen, let's hope the stream is better because my choice of pack for Malwams has gone down the drain, mate. Bad time.
100%, man. Here we go. But yeah, man, if you guys are here, make sure you smash the like button early. Look, it's international break.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of news going on like that. I'm here to bring you content alongside Savon and many other content creators. Some want to take breaks. I'm not taking a break. We are not taking a break. And we'll just discuss so you guys are entertained throughout your days, whether you're at work or at home or just being bums. Like, it's up to you, innit? Like me, I like being a bum sometimes. So yeah, man. Look, I think it's easy to start with the whole Man United situation. Like it gets bad. All right, let's go along the timeline. It gets bad. You just lose 3-1 to old rivals Arsenal, and probably in the worst way possible, getting deja vu from last year, from the time at their gaff of last season. Then the manager comes out and he gets asked a question. It wasn't an excuse for why they lost. Why is Sancho not there? Sancho decides to reply and say, there's nothing wrong with me. You're talking crap, ultimately. And guess what he's done today? He's pinned his own statement. So he's backing himself, which is fair enough if you want to do it. Also, then therefore, Antony allegations come out and Antony's had to make a statement. And the club's basically made an understatement, just saying what's basically happening currently in this moment of time. So it's getting bad to worse for Man United, and it's probably exactly what you don't need, right? And now the whole thing surrounding Antony's career could potentially be ruined.
Yeah, look, I think the key thing for me is Man United. You need a period of calm. You need a period of stability where there isn't always these kind of side issues. You had it exactly this time last year, Kaz. Exactly this time last year with Ronaldo, right? So you had all of that going on that Ten Hag had to deal with. Then, during the whole summer, there was this whole, are we going to sell? Are we not going to sell? That's all going on as well. You've now got this situation with Sancho and Ten Hag. You've got the whole Antony thing going on. The team's not playing well. Doesn't look like there's any real cohesion on the pitch. And I feel like, man, you need to get to a point where they realise they're Manchester United Football Club and actually get back to all the noise being white noise and just being a good football team on the pitch. Because at the moment, it's not looking good. There's so much noise, bad noise, negative noise around Man United at the moment, whether it's players, owners, manager, performance on the pitch. I don't know what's going well for you at the moment. If I'm brutally honest, I don't think it's not good at United right now, right?
No, it's really not. It's really not, Sam. Yeah, Man United do need calm. It's too much. It's not. It's just bad news. It's one thing after the other. Greenwood, Antony, Sancho losing. You know, the managers under scrutiny. Some of the fan base is starting to say Ten Hag out. You know, the only best thing about Man United right now is the fact that we got 2 new signings that we want to watch more.
Right.
Point,
Yeah.
and then obviously the new boy, what's it called, Amrabat. So that's the way I look at it. See, the thing is with what I find with Antony, right? I see this is what really grinds my gears. Already, you know, the Johnnies of the world, you know, like I don't care. You told me to at you, I'll post you this fucking thing, like this whole video. How about that? I like the guy though, to be fair. Jump the gun and say he should be nowhere near the squad. He should be nowhere near the team. I'm thinking like, why? On what evidence? It's not like I've heard an audio of him smashing up his missus like we have with others or anything like that. Like I'm not obviously don't condone that, whatever it might be. But now they're saying that they're calling for him to be suspended. And Jay Burt Telegraph, or who was it, Ducker Telegraph, one of the other, someone from the Telegraph is saying that they resisted calls for him to be suspended. But for how long are you going to resist this? See, the thing is, if he was a great player, everybody would call him an innocent. But because he's crap at this time, right? The way I look at it is that it's easy to say, yeah, get him out, you know, because you don't want to see so and so, their favorite player, to, you know, go and play on the right wing, hence Sancho, hence Palestri or whoever. It's just it's a bit of a downer. But in a football perspective, do you reckon until it's all sorted out that he should be maybe taken away from the squad?
I think it depends on 2 things. First of all, I think you're right. You know, it's until proven until proven guilty, the person's innocent. Unless, obviously, as you said, without mentioning names, if there are some extenuating circumstances like audio footage or video footage and that kind of stuff. But at the moment, look, we're not going to go deep into it, I'm sure, Kaz, but we just talked backstage about a few players that have had their football careers ruined by this type of stuff. Just look at Mendy at Man City. Just look at Mendy. That's 2 years of his career gone. Now, he's been found innocent. 2 years of his career is gone. And you know the problem is, Kaz, that label doesn't go away. It doesn't matter now that he's been found innocent. That label won't go away from the majority of people. They're always going to associate him now, not being a footballer, him having been involved in a rape case, for example. Now, with Antony, I think the thing you've got to ask the question is, A, how is it affecting him personally as a human? Do you know what I mean? If it's affecting him, cool, take him out the firing line. Some people it will affect. Other people will go the opposite and go, right, hang on, no, let me submerge myself in the football and forget about all that until that comes around. But what we shouldn't do in this day and age, it shouldn't be, oh, well, he's been bad anyway, so yeah, get him out the team because of this. It shouldn't matter at this stage, Kaz, whether you're Lionel Messi or whether you're Dave from the Dog and Duck. Do you know what I mean? This is not the case. The case against him isn't has he performed for Man United? It is, has he committed a crime? And at the moment, there is no crime committed at the moment. But look, it's another thing. United don't need it, Kaz. United do not need this. This is going to shroud the club in this big smoke of uncertainty. And I think already this is going to ruin another season for you if this continues for the next 3 or 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, you can't afford to be going down it. Craig Lee says, being a bum, screw work, 420 weather. 420, is that the week thing?
I don't know. Maybe it's 420 wherever he is. I don't know. I don't know.
420 is the week, like 420 is that Hyde Park weed thing, right? Where everyone goes and smokes up and all that crap, right? Like the day you're allowed to do it in certain areas, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not cool enough to know about all that, mate.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me about that one. Yeah, you'd say I'd been around that, but I just don't remember it too tough. But yeah, man, something needs to happen. The thing is, what we do know about the Antony part is he's already been accused and taken to court or something like that, right? And he's been proven not guilty. And now she's come out with another 2 stories about it. So right now, as far as I know, his name's been cleared. She showed a picture of a finger, but with loads of her finger. Right, a picture with loads of tape around it, and no one can see anything.
Right.
So I just don't understand. Like, okay, let's see the extent of it, but you can't just show us a picture. Like, you could have got a piece of glass and cut yourself. The thing is, no, if she is to be proven or wherever it is, right? Because it's a football stream, so I'm not going to talk too much into politics and stuff.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So if there is going to be the case that he's proven innocent, then something needs to happen to her. Because it's just too many cases for me, and it really does get on my nerves. But if she is right, then I hope Antony doesn't step on a football pitch again, because you're in a privileged position and you've overstepped your that privilege in my part, and like, you shouldn't be doing that. No, you don't deserve a place in the world of football where you earn hundreds of thousands of money, millions, when you're going around abusing women. But I don't condone that. No one does. Everyone has a mum, everyone has a sister, potentially an auntie, whatever. But yeah, Man United just need to focus on the football, calm it down. There's going to be a lot of PR coming out, and hopefully Glazers go and that will just disappear everything. But yeah, moving on from Man United, I thought that would just be a little brief part for you guys, just a little opening for 10 minutes. Shows that we do have a heart. I'm gonna move it to Chelsea, where I think this is where it might get a little bit more hectic, I think.
Yeah.
And to dive into the of what we feel with Chelsea Football Club, Colwill got asked about Chelsea during his England press conference.
Right.
And obviously they were asking about his time, what they think about their manager. Instantly, he's come out and defended Pochettino and say that he likes him and everything, this, that, and the other. They believe in him. Don't you think that's a little bit too early in your eyes? If you're thinking, why do you have to come out and talk extensively about your manager, even though it's only 4 years, since it's such a project, right?
Listen, I've said it before. The whole football world is very knee-jerk. It's the same with managers and players. Player has good game. Oh my God, he's worth 100 million. Player has bad game. He's a flop. They should never have signed him. Same with managers. Pochettino is going to be feeling the heat, probably through no fault of his own. All right, I'm not saying he's managed every game perfectly for Chelsea, but I mean, gone are the days when managers got at least a year to kind of get their team going and to, find some sort of formula and bed everyone into an ethos and a strategy. Now it's, right, you spent money, win now. And I just think that if we all took forget which club you support, Kaz, right? If we all took our hats off and just looked at it as football fans, I think we can all agree that whatever's gone on with Chelsea, even before Roman left, even before Mr. Abramovich left, it was a mess. Chelsea Football Club was a mess. There was no clear strategy. Then you had the whole Ukraine-Russian war situation. Then you've got the new owners. Then you've got all this money spent. You've got 3 or 4 or 5 different managers in the space of a year. I'll almost repeat what I just said to you about Man United. Chelsea needs some stability. Chelsea, and I don't even support them, but this is for all clubs. You need a year where Chelsea don't have any talk of managers being sacked. Fans acknowledge that they are not the Chelsea that they've known for the last 15, 20 years. They're not that club anymore. They could get there again, but they're not right now. And unfortunately, what will happen is every result now that Chelsea do not win a game, you're going to start seeing Poch out. You're going to start seeing these crazy
by the way,
movements.
just to interject there, it's already happening.
No, that's what I mean. And every result now, it's just going to amplify that, right, Kaz? Do you know what I mean? So right now, let's say you've got a handful of people, idiots. Let's be fair, they're idiots. Poch out. Okay, cool. They lose another game, right? It will be a few more added to, Poch out. They lose another game. Oh my God, this guy's crap. He's got to go. He's dreadful. Look, he did this when he was at Spurs.
I was going to ask about that.
It took a while.
Yeah.
Mate, it took a while. When he turned up, he had a lot of, first of all, he had to get rid of a lot of deadwood, right, at Spurs, and it took a year. Fair enough, they've done that quicker at Chelsea because they're Chelsea. But then he got a lot of young players. Eriksen at the time, I know it's strange to think that, but Eriksen was young. Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Sonny was a young player at the time. Carl Walker, Danny Rose. These were young footballers that it took time to bed them in, gel them together. He didn't turn up and suddenly we were this really good team that played. He nearly got sacked in his first year at Spurs, Kaz, because it wasn't what. Listen, I know I'm a Spurs fan. Everyone will cuss that, but the famous team that never won, so to speak, that he made that were really good and challenged. he didn't turn up and he did that overnight, Kaz. That took time. And Chelsea fans will see that if they give him time. But I don't think they will. I think they're a really impatient bunch of fans.
Yeah, they are. I've never known them to be patient. You know what? Even dating back to the 90s and everything like that, from what I've been told and from what I see, they're always chopping and changing the manager too tough. You know, Claudio Ranieri straight away, and then obviously the new era of Roman Abramovich with Mourinho. Then it goes to Scolari, and it goes to this person, Avram Grant, this player, this manager, this manager. They've never known patience. And even though it's a new era, what I've already seen from Todd Bowley, that he has no patience either.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Pochettino has to hold blame, because why are you playing 5 at the back?
Yeah, sure.
The Luton game. Let's head back to the Luton game. You played 5 at the back. Why? You could have smashed them 5 or 6-0 and got your goal difference up where it matters towards the end of the season, anyways. So, you're persistent with playing this Thiago Silva and credit, personnel, this, that, and the other. But I'm thinking in the firing line of things, you need someone extra in your attack. No matter what it is, sometimes you just need the extra body that can be able to do something until those injury people come back. You're not using Mudryk. You're not using Madueke. He's been injured, to be fair, and he didn't have the greatest game when he came back against what's his name? In the cup, right?
Yeah. I hear. Yeah.
And they have got loads of injuries, and yes, we do banter them and everything. It's kind of harsh, but we all got injuries. It's how you manage. We were talking about, it doesn't matter. They got 1 game a week. So Pochettino has to hold blame, especially for the Forest game. Especially, you don't need to be playing 5 at the back against Forest. You didn't see Man United play 5 at the back against them. Especially even when you're 1-0 down. Why does it take you to change things when you go 1-0 down?
Do you know what I don't understand, Kaz? The thing I agree that I will put on the manager. Listen, and I'm not out here to protect Poch. I was one of the fans at the end calling for Poch to be sacked, Kaz, because it all went to pot at the end for Spurs. But I watched Chelsea in pre-season and thought, I can see I see what they're doing here. Like, they're going to be. I was thinking from a Spurs point of view, I'm thinking we're probably going to be in the pack with Chelsea, right? And I was seeing what they were doing, thinking they actually look all right. And then the first game of the season comes around, and they've gone from a back 4 to a back 5 or wing backs, whatever you want to call it. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans as well were a bit like, "What? Why have you done that?" Do you know what I mean? Now, a lot of people I hear talking say that they're trying to get Thiago Silva into the team, and he can't play in a 4 anymore because he hasn't got the pace. But listen, at some point, you've got to make that jump and say, okay, well, if Thiago Silva doesn't fit into a back 4, you don't play him. But for the players they've got, they can't be playing 5 at the back. They need more forward players on the pitch. They're struggling for goals. They need to attack more. So that was, it was weird. And, some people saying it wasn't a back 5. But listen, when I'm watching Chelsea, they seem to have a lot of defensive-minded players on the pitch. And that wasn't what Poch did at Spurs.
That's what I look at Chelsea right now, is being a bit too defensive. And I know that it's sometimes you got to build from the back. That's what we heard about Luton. It's about building from the back. You got your clean sheet and going from there, but it hasn't, nullified. You still conceded a penalty against Wimbledon. You still conceded against Nottingham Forest. And now you have to wait, just like my club, for obviously next week when the Premier League does resume. Like, I look here around there and think, Jackson's starving. Don't get me wrong. Jackson isn't crap. He's his worst game against Nottingham Forest, but he's barely got any support. He has to drop deep and do all the work himself.
Yeah.
Why is Gallagher so deep? Why is Chilwell at left wing? See, this is the sort of question. Why are we already asking questions? Why is Colwill at left back? Come on.
Do you know what I think, Kaz? I think when there are moments like this, when you're under fire, when there's pressure like this, for me, I always think, and this isn't just football, I always think, go back to basics. Whatever it is, go back to basics. Yeah? Don't do anything silly. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. If you're going to have your back 4, make sure your left back's a left back. Make sure your right back's a right back. Make sure your wingers are out and out wingers. If you've got holding midfielders, make sure that they're not people like Gallagher playing further up the pitch. I think this formation, what they're doing, doesn't look right. And I feel sorry for Nicholas Jackson. I really do, because he's a new player coming to this league. Let's be brutally honest. Nicholas Jackson was meant to be the supporting cast to Nkunku, right?
Yeah. That was meant to be the it thing,
right,
and we saw that in pre-season. It was working really
right,
well.
right. Now everyone's going right. Go on, Nicholas Jackson, score 20 goals. It's like, whoa, hang on. Listen, I think he's a good player, but all of
Yeah,
a sudden he's being thrust into a team that is a brand new team, brand new manager, and all of a sudden we're going, go on, mate, go on, do what you can. And I don't know. There's a lot of problems there. There's a lot of problems it's going to take a year for him to sort out. And that's why all the fans, Kaz, going, oh, they've got a challenge for a title. On what
yeah.
grounds? Like,
Yeah,
why?
I see. I see Don, like, obviously, I know you're in the comments. He was talking top three, but I don't. You have to have a belief as a fan, obviously, to get your team there. If you're even in the crowd, like, you got to get there. But even rival fans don't fear it. But if you see the bigger picture, it's a bit different, right? So
People
with
don't
Don's
like bigger
there,
picture, Kaz.
yeah,
People
this is
don't
I know
like bigger
the
picture in
season's got the
football.
gun. So yesterday I made predictions, right? I said, no, you know what? I actually see Man United going on a mad run after this. Like, I really do see it. And I'm seeing a bigger picture. Newcastle, yes, they've lost 3 in a bounce. And yes, they lost 5 games last year in total. But they've got a good run coming up next. I can see that if they're going to go out of Europe, right, that means they're going to go back to 1 game a week and plus some games in the FA Cup and all that kind of stuff. You know, and they got a bigger squad this time for those cup games. So if they're gonna get rinsed in Europe, right, which is fair play anyways, it's their first year back, then they're gonna have a bounce back too. So I put them 5th. Same with Chelsea, I'll put them 7th. And it's because
Do
right
you know
now
what, Kaz?
I'm struggling to see currently right now the bigger picture, because now if you go see their run, Chelsea have got a really hard run, you know, and by Christmas, I feel like, and at the start of New Year, what did I see last year? I saw the top 4, top 5 kind of revolve, but no one saw Tottenham's drop off. Everyone said that it's not sustainable for Tottenham to keep going the way they're playing and getting results, and you eventually dropped off. And then we see somebody come up in Liverpool, because Liverpool were down there, right? So with Chelsea, I don't see right now, because I look at the team and it's so young, you know, and there's no
Kaz,
experience.
look,
It's just too
football
young.
changes.
They're
Football
gonna,
changes very quickly. Have a
this is what
look.
I'm saying.
Last week alone, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was?
Yeah.
Brighton lost to West Ham, and I remember everyone coming into my show going, there you go, they're crap. Last year was a one-off, even though it wasn't just last year. Oh, they've gone. They won't be able to do as well again. And then they've won all their games since, and Brighton at the moment played 4, won 3, lost 1. Right? This is how quickly football changes. In 3 or 4 games' time, Newcastle could win the next 4, get 12 points, and all of a sudden you're going, there you go, really good start to the season. Same with the teams at the top. I put my team in there. We've had a really good start to the season. We could lose our next 3. All of a sudden it's, same old Spurs, rah. And I always say, Kaz, and I don't know if this is the benefit of me being old or what, right? I've always said this. Get to 10 to 15 games into the season, you start to get an idea of what the table looks like, right? Now, I'm not saying that after 15 games, you know who's winning it or who's getting top 4, but you start to see naturally most of the teams that are going to be in the bottom half will have dropped there. Most of the teams that are going to be in the top half will have sort of elevated themselves to there because cream rises to the top. You'll have a couple of anomalies. But after 4 games, it really, really is difficult to write everybody off or write everybody on, if that makes sense. Like West Ham fans are unbearable.
Yeah.
And West Ham fans at the moment go, oh my God, look at our start. Cool. All right, come back after 10 games. Oh, Lawless is a nightmare, but I love him.
His stream with Potts yesterday, legendary. I don't watch people's streams from start to finish, but that was 2 hours. Me and Daps watching it. I was laughing my head off.
Mate,
Funny
listen, I was on with him and Matisse and Potts the other day. It was good fun. But do you know what, right? Look, if after 10 to 12 games, West Ham are up there and they've played 12, won 7, drawn 3 and lost 2, you go, okay, cool. They're a good team. At the moment, can you say after 4 games that somebody is back or that they're gone or that they, like last year, everybody, Liverpool are dead food. And then didn't they, like, for the last 14 games of the season, didn't lose a game? This year, they're dead. All their signings are terrible, Kaz. Their midfield's horrible. They've won 3 and drawn 1, right? And they've played Newcastle.
Actually, they've been unbeaten in 15 games in total.
Right. And everyone going, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead. They played Newcastle, top 4 last year. Villa, Europe last year. Chelsea, it doesn't matter. It's never easy to go to Stamford Bridge, and Bournemouth away, who gave us a good game when we played them, to be honest. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's going, oh, Liverpool could do well again. And it's like, hang on. 4 games ago, everyone's telling me that Liverpool are dead and they've bought badly in the market and they've got no midfield. And now and it's like that, Kaz. People want to change their mind like that.
Yeah. But this is my whole point with Chelsea, when, like, I just don't believe in them getting top 4. And I don't think that's nothing called hate. It's just that I just don't see it. I think the 4 odd 5 clubs you could say that's going to get into Champions League is quite obvious this season, I think. And
I agree.
Because we also got through depth and performance alone when the season does get going on. I'm gonna name to you Chelsea's fixture list. People in the comments as well, let me know. I'm gonna name you about 10 games. 10 games of Chelsea coming up, right? Let me know how many points out of 10. So that's a potential 30 points, right, from Chelsea. And this is what I mean. Look, nobody sees Chelsea getting top 4. They got Bournemouth away, then they got Aston Villa at home, then they got Fulham away, then they got Burnley away. So I said Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley. Then this is where it starts getting a bit different. They got Arsenal at the Bridge, Brentford at the Bridge, Tottenham away, Man City at the Bridge, Newcastle away, Brighton at the Bridge, Man United away, and that's when it settles down back to Everton away. Now, how many points do you see that? So I'm going to name them all again. First one, Bournemouth. Second one, Villa. Third one, Fulham. Fourth one, Burnley. Fifth, Arsenal. Brentford, number 6. Tottenham, number 7. City, number 8. You know what? Make it 11 games. Newcastle, number 9. Brighton, number 10. Man United, where that stops. You could say their hard run in the 11th game on the 6th of December at Old Trafford. 11 games.
16 to 17 points.
We're talking December. 17 points plus what they got now.
Yeah. This is not Chelsea of before.
This is what I'm trying to say. See, I just don't think they got enough experience in their team to get where they want to be in January to go get, we're going to go sign Tony. Oh, we're going to go sign this and that. By what point then is it going to be too late? When teams are allowed to drop points in March and still be okay, just like Man United did. I'm not saying they're going to be bottom 3. I'm not saying Chelsea are finished by any means. But you got to be, I'm just talking about being a little bit more realistic of what you can see. As a Chelsea fan, as a self fan of your club, you're going to be more biased, credit. Like me and Man United, people are going to see me as a little bit more biased because it's my team. But now I'm going to talk on what I see for the rival teams. I can say wholeheartedly, I don't believe in Arsenal as much as I did at the start of the season. I believe more in City to go do a 4P, and that makes me sick. I need Arsenal to win. I need them to win at all points. But even I don't see them being much different from us this year. I'll be so honest. I think it's going to be turbulent for both clubs.
Kaz, the problem is,
I'm not even going to talk on that. It's just I'm trying to get some of these Chelsea fans, and I see a few of them in the comments that are more realistic than the others, right, about their own club. And maybe I need to be seen a little bit more realistic about my own club from other fans as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that done by rivals tonight, right? So, but I'm not talking on my club. I'm talking about your club in Chelsea and all the fans, your club in Chelsea. How can you tell me that you see your club finishing top 4 when you have to go back to basics again, and you've got one of the hardest runs I've seen when nobody believes in you? Look, I could sit here in 2 months' time, October, November, December, 3 months' time in December, and call myself an idiot. But guess what? I don't care if I call myself an idiot and I was wrong. The whole point of predicting stuff is to be wrong. Nobody ever gets predictions right. Rarely, right? So that's what I see.
Do you know what? Over the years, the number of times I've seen people do this, predict the next 3 games, predict the next 5, predict the next 10. And listen, nearly everyone's all wrong, right? None of us are always right. Last year, who would have predicted that top 4? Brutally honest, who had Arsenal for second? I didn't see anyone in the summer say that. Who had Newcastle for 4th? Didn't see anyone have that as well. So listen, it's just football fans. We say it in the heat of the moment. I think the problem that Chelsea have got is the pressure obviously on them is for top 4, top 5, whatever, Champions League. But I think before fans start talking about finishing 4th, finishing 5th, they've got to look to a long-term future. They've got to look to what is the point of this model that they're working under? Because Kaz, you and I both know they're not gonna spend 400-500 million a window, right? They can't. They physically can't. So they've tried to squash everything into last summer, January, and this summer, right? Moving forward, they can't do that. So now they've got to settle down, have some sustained time, and where they finish. Now, I think bare minimum they've got to get into Europe. They've absolutely got to get into Europe. But it's 4 games. Chelsea could win the next 4. All of a sudden, we're having a very different conversation.
Now let's change the scenario. Chelsea at the bridge. Yeah, Chelsea at the bridge should be cementing everything they need to do to make sure they don't make any more losses. And I'm going to compare it to Man United of last year. Man United at the start of the season lost the game against Brighton at the first game of the season. The bridge is meant to be one of the most difficult places to go and get a result, right? So now I'm going to look at it like that. What I feel Poch needs to do, go back to basics and don't play favourites. Look, having Chilwell, Reece James, that's fine. Your defence is fine. It sorts itself out. You know, you got Lavia coming back as well. Like, he should be more fit. You know, go back to some basics. Even if it means playing an attacking mid like Cole Palmer, like even though he's a right winger. As long as what I've seen from Poch is that they're quite dynamic in the final third, but there's just not enough of it. You know what I mean? And I know Jackson's got a lot of weight to finish a lot of, but what I've seen them, even against Forest, they cause a lot of overloads, even with 5 at the back. It's just the quality of a Chilwell at left wing is just stupid. You know, Cole Palmer should be starting from the get-go. Let Sterling keep building his confidence and start getting results and start building off that at the bridge. Away from home, even if you lose, who cares? It's away, as long as you get your W's at your home ground. It all starts at home, you know? For me, Chelsea on paper probably got one of the best in-depth back lines and probably even in midfield in the league on paper. It's just letting that gel. I think even talents like Maatsen, like, don't get me wrong, I like Chilwell, but he can't even last 90 minutes of a game. Maatsen's young and hungry. He rejected a move to Burnley. What does that show you? He's committed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, look, listen, this is why when I was cussed all summer by saying, listen, all these people saying they should be going for a title charge. You can spend £1 billion all you want in a year, right? And if you're not spending £1 billion on Mbappe, on Messi, on all the players that can win you things immediately, why are fans expecting them to win immediately, right? And if after 4 games into a managerial career, where have they lost 2 of them? Is that right? They've lost 2 of them, right? So they've lost to Forest and West Ham.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If we're now going to judge managers after 4 games in their new job, football's dead. How does anyone follow that? Let's assume, Kaz. All right, let's say what everyone was just talking there. People were saying when you asked about the 30 points, sacked by Christmas. Cool. All right, let's assume he's sacked by Christmas, Kaz. Now what? All right, let's go Nagelsmann. Just for argument's sake, we'll bring Nagelsmann in. Okay, brilliant. Nagelsmann comes in and says what? You know what? I like this player, this player, this player, this player. I don't want them 10 over there. Let's ship them out. Let's get another 6 or 7 players in. Then what are you doing, Kaz? You're starting again.
Yeah,
you're starting again. Right? And then after 5-10 games with Nagelsmann, when his style hasn't been implemented like that, Chelsea fans are going, oh my God, another failure. At what point do we look at the club and go, calm, a bit of calm, a little bit of, you're going to have some rough with the smooth. Slow down, let him take his time. The £1 billion, unfortunately, is clouding fans' judgment. It doesn't matter if those players were 10 million or 100 million. It's a number. They are still the same player of that ability, right? Chelsea have chosen to go down the route of youth, right? That takes time. The Chelsea fans need to give it time. Commit to a manager. Let him have his time. Yeah. If by the end of the season, they've stuck with Poch through all 38 league games. They are 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, sack him.
You know what? I think we've been quite harsh on Chelsea. And I know they fast-tracked. And this is where it's just like, you can't expect them to win a league, not with kids. You know, they're spending all this money to... look, we all say if you spend the money, you need to win. But realistically, if they spend all this money and it succeeds, they won't need to spend more money like that again next summer, the summer after, because they're basing it on potential, right? Poch has got a proven record. Obviously, you can go to Espanyol when he started at Southampton, when he had Mane and everything, to Tottenham. I think the only one you can't do it is because PSG is a different run type of club.
Yeah.
That if you give him time, he implements a nice system. Look what he done for Southampton. Oh my word, that system, that the players he had, it was wicked. It was wicked. Even Tottenham, it was wicked. Espanyol, wow. Go check Poch's defensive record on Espanyol. You could barely beat the guy 1 or 2-0. He had that solid, right? I think the thing is, it's the fans not giving him enough time. And we said this about Potter, to be fair, but Potter looked like he was out of his depth. He didn't know how to act. And I got that totally wrong about that. So the way I look at it is like, if Chelsea can get...
what if he'd had a bit of time, Kaz? If he'd had some time?
When you've got a systematic manager, it's going to take time to build that system. It's going to take more than one season. I think even Pep saw that as well within his own thing, and it's the next season got a pair of fullbacks that could do his stuff, and then Pep goes on to do his system, etc., etc. Got a lot of the signings right, look at Arteta. It took him 2.5 years, granted 3 years, to get what he wanted in to fit the system that Arsenal's now call electric, and they love it.
Let me ask you a question. Kaz.
Go on.
Pep, year one, Man City, brilliant squad, right? Couldn't quite get Pep Guardiola's way of playing. Just about finished third, I believe. Didn't win a trophy, and every man and their dog, woman and dog said his football won't work in the Premier League.
I remember that. Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, he's had them for a year. He gets another summer. So he's got another summer to implement his philosophy, right? What happens? Now, I'm not saying, before anyone has got me, I'm not saying that will happen with Chelsea. But managers can't have 4 games, right? Players can't have 4 games. You can't do it. If you go in for your first day of work, most people here, let's say, right, if most people go in for their first day of work, how many people after week 1 are brilliant at their job? After week 1, which is the first 4 days, 5 days of work.
Yeah.
You've got to get to know everyone. You've got to know how your teammates work. You've got to get to know systems. You can apply that to football systems, computers, right? I just feel like we're so knee-jerk. And I do see it being a lot of the younger fans as well, where they can't understand the human element of footballers. And I was like it when I was young. Yeah. Oh my God, but you brought in all these players. You should be brilliant immediately. Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's true. No, you're right.
It's not how it works. So, look, Arsenal under Arteta, everyone last year singing their praises. 2 years ago, when they were finishing 8th and then 8th, everyone, Arteta out. Now the Arsenal fans can't stop telling me that they're the best team in the world and all their young players are the best young players in the world. So, what a difference 2 years, 3 years makes. So, at some point, they've got to slow down. They've got a manager that likes working with young players. That's the route they've gone down. How many old players they signed in the last 3 windows?
Not a lot.
Right. They sold Koulibaly. He's gone already. Aubameyang. He's gone already. Who else they signed that's over the age of 24?
Sterling.
Sterling. The only one that's there, I reckon.
Sterling, Philibert. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Who else am I thinking? Not a lot. Yeah, it's not really a lot when you think about it.
By the way, can I just answer one question in your chat?
Go on.
Carl Beer said Liverpool got a whole new midfield and they seem to click. Why is Chelsea not getting pressured? I think the difference with Chelsea and Liverpool is, Liverpool needed a whole new midfield, right? Chelsea needed a whole new team. And this is the thing. Chelsea are implementing a whole new team. This Liverpool back 4 is the same back 4 for the last 3 or 4 years. Liverpool's forward line is the same forward line other than, obviously, Mane, who left last summer. And they were getting pressure.
Yeah, little bits and bobs.
But listen, I just think everyone needs to relax a bit. Like everyone every year can't finish top 4, right?
Yeah,
and what the Chelsea fans have to understand is when Chelsea were winning absolutely everything, they were the first money power club, so to speak, right? Then Man City joined that. Now everyone's got money. Now everyone is spending money. Newcastle, Spurs, Man United, Villa, Liverpool, everyone. Bournemouth are chucking money at it. Nottingham Forest are chucking money at it. So it's not like it was. And I think people need to relax.
Yeah. Craig says 1 billion spent, but more questions than answers, which is quite valid. To be fair, Craig, big it yourself. King Winter Soldier says Graham Potter has a master's in emotional intelligence and they broke him. Imagine that. Yeah. But you know what is with Chelsea? Look, there's 4 games that I mentioned there where I feel like they can go and get their run going again, and the manager can implement something. And then 4 games are just your first 4, which I think I mentioned were Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, and Burnley. You know, every one of them's got to be a W. No drop points, and then that might become something when you do come up against the, you know, your Tottenhams. It's always a good game. Your Man Cities, your Man Uniteds, and stuff like that. And even Arsenal that are coming to Chelsea's ground. That's the one game that you do not want to be losing as a Chelsea fan, guaranteed at your own gaff. So I think it's only early. 4 points is still whatever. Chelsea fans can see some bigger pictures, some can't. And the ones that can see a bigger picture, like the Dons, like the special ones, and everyone in the comments at this moment of time, right? Like, big up yourselves, man, because this is where it is to give time, man. This is how I felt at the start of the season. Remember, there was 4 games. Difference is we beat Arsenal and Liverpool before the break, as well, and obviously we got battered at the start. So yeah, man, it can always get better. You just got to find a way. But moving on, because we were talking on Liverpool, it's another injury, which is not a major setback. And you know, we've been critical of him, but that's another setback. I think Van Dijk's only injured for 1 more game. Things are looking up for Liverpool right now. You know, even if Trent is out, I don't believe Trent is injured, by the way. I think that was an excuse to get out of the England squad. And if so, big that up. You know, I think that was definitely planned. It looked planned. It is what it is. He's got a potential minor hamstring injury, but I don't think he does. Because if you go check what he was holding, go look at when he went down to Aston Villa. He wasn't touching his hamstring. But
Yeah,
Van Dijk's yet to return. You know, Kanate, I believe he's got a muscle injury set to return. Trent might be out. It's not the worst thing in the world, as well. I'm pretty sure. Let me check who Liverpool's got next as well. They've got Wolves away from home. I'm pretty sure Trent will be involved. But now they've got some momentum going again. And to think that when you deep it, that they've got 50, they've had all these injuries, they're all coming back. They've got 15 games unbeaten. They got 5 games in 3 days. Perfect time for them because Gomez is hitting some good form. Matip is hitting some good form. Robertson is just doing what Robertson is. I wouldn't say he's the best thing in the world, but you know, he's still there, he's still solid. You know, Gravenberch is going to get his first game. You know, Endo's bare. He hasn't even played in a team at the moment, really, that's got, you know, 11 men on the pitch. Like, don't you think
yeah.
this is where everyone, I know this might be just only 4 games, but you can't call this only 4 games for them. Klopp looks like he's got something going on again. McAllister looks brand new.
But if you have a look, this started at the back end of last season. Sorry, someone in your chat said, Savvy, you said Liverpool are finished. By the way, anyone who knows me knows that's not how I talk. I don't talk in absolutes. I've never come onto anywhere and gone, this club is finished, that club is finished. I'm not 18. Apologies for that. Look, Liverpool continued this from last season. Lots of people talked about how they were finished. And as you said, what is that?
I think I was, to be fair. I'll put my hands up and say at the start, you got no DM, you're finished for this year. And to be fair, it can still be the case, and it might be wearing on them a little bit, Sava, because no DM, when you got Europa League, that way you expect to go far in it, it's going to be hard to really cement that when it comes up against the teams that do like to attack your...
You're going to have to be with me for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Even guys in the comments, even what I was saying is with no DM, it's going to harm you in some way, shape, or form. The ones that think that Liverpool are going to win the league, that's just stupid. But the thing is Liverpool now have got a midfield, right? And the guys, you're going to have to, you know, don't make me talk by myself. I hope you fail, but you're not. You got Bajcetic coming back, he's got some good experience. He might be something. I think he's special. Gunali doesn't like him, but I like him. You got a lot of midfield options. That's the difference. You got 3 playmakers. You got a Gravenberch. You got an Endo. No, not an Endo. Sorry, you got Thiago still, and you still got McAllister. You got 3 playmakers. 1 that can drop a little bit deeper, or maybe 2 that can drop deeper. You got Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones is going to have his best season this year. I like Curtis Jones personally. I think he's decent when he's going forward. You got even Kwanzaa at the back. Have you not seen anyone seen Kwanzaa the way he drives into the midfield and slots in right next to McAllister? I think that might go unnoticed through some people as well. Kwanzaa's definitely one to look out for. You can't rely on an 18-year-old, but he's got good experience. If you're coming on in big games like Aston Villa and that, then surely he's quite good. Curtis Jones has got to stay fit. Your front line's your front line. You know, I think this might be a very underrated Liverpool team, and maybe they do need a lot more flowers than people make it out to be. And you know, but I still think with Europa and the way Klopp wants to win every trophy, it's going to take a little bit. I think it's because of that offense. It's going to take a little bit of a toll on it, and you're going to have some bad times, but you're going to smash teams still. Do you get what I mean? Let me see what some of you guys in the comments are saying as well. Josh Baker is saying we have McAllister who can play as the 6, and I'm sure Gravenberch can be embedded into the 6. McAllister had a good game against Villa, don't get me wrong, but I've still seen him get overrun. I wouldn't bank on keeping McAllister as a 6 personally, but he can definitely do one job or so. This was always obvious for Liverpool people. I just realizing now after all the chatting. Where was this? Keegan says, you were calling man bozo. No, brother, it's Sabos lie. I mean, when he plays well, he's Sabos lie. When he plays bad, he's Sabozo. Praying Gomez can turn into football for real again. You know what it is with Gomez, though? And the way I look at it is it's a bit like Martial a little bit. He's back injury free. He has a couple okay, decent games, good games. Then he breaks down again. And it's like, oh, you know what? What's the point? What is the actual point? Every time he comes back, you get your heart broken because every time he gets a run of form. Because I remember that time when Joe Gomez, I remember the time when Joe Gomez was talking on the defense, and like you get hopes that, you know, Joe gets like, I was comparing to Marcel, like get excited that, you know, a player's coming back, you need him, you know, he's hitting a bit of form and then he breaks down again. You know, that's the way I look at Gomez, and it's just like, how long has he got before he breaks down again? Like, it's just, it was only a couple of years ago where he was having that really good run with Van Dijk at the back, and even I was calling him, he needs to be playing for England. You know, he's probably one of England's best, if not second best centre back over Bar Stones. You know, and it's just, it's a difficult time for him, but he needs to stay fit some way, shape, or form. But yeah, Liverpool. What do you make of their prospects for the season? Where do you think where do you feel they're going to finish with all these games coming up?
Champions League easily. They've got too much firepower. They got so much firepower. Apologies about that. When the missus says that the food delivery is going to be between 3:30 and 4:30, and then arrives at 10 to 3. Apologies.
That was quick.
Yeah, mate. You have to put it all in the bags yourself, and it's like, oh, this is long. What? Yeah. Anyway, Liverpool for me, Champions League easily. I think they've got goals. When you look across Jota, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, Nunez, they've got goals. And when you've got 5 goal scorers, you don't need them all to be on fire at the same time. And that's the beauty. Someone has an off game, someone else pops up with a goal. I think they've bought really cleverly in the midfield. People can say what they want. They wanted Caicedo, they wanted Lavia. I quite like what they've got. I think Szoboszlai is an excellent footballer. I think he's a brilliant footballer, him. McAllister's solid Premier League proven player. Don't worry, the freezer's shut. Don't worry, mate. And I think Endo is a professional. Listen, I'm not saying he's the greatest signing ever, but the fact the bloke can do holding midfield, centre half, it gives them options there. And then you've got to look at the players coming up behind those midfielders, Kaz. Right, when you look at it, you've now got Gravenberch as an option in there. You've got Harvey Elliott who does bits. Bashtic, I probably butchered his name. He's a good player when he comes back. Curtis Jones always seems to come on and do a job. Plus the forwards. For me, it's what do they do at the back? If you can keep Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, if those 6-7 can stay fit, I think they'll be top 4, top 3, no problem at all. I don't think there's 18, 17 teams better.
I
don't think there's, you know what I mean?
You know what it is for me? It's just stuff like this. It's still, they need to address something in January, because it's just stuff like this can creep up. They've got 4 games in 9 days. Yeah. As soon as they come back, they've got, don't get me wrong, credit to the Wolves part, because you don't start Europa until a week after. But on that Thursday, you got Lask away from home. Then you got to fly back. And then you got West Ham. Then a few days later, you got Leicester City. Then you got Tottenham away. And then that's when you get about 6 day rest before you go back to playing against back in Europa League on a Thursday. Then on a Sunday, you've got Brighton away. And then there's another international break after that. And it's just like, how many times is that going to happen before it creeps in when you don't need? This is why they need defensive options.
But Kaz,
You
they're
know,
not. They're not gonna. You
Yeah,
know
I
it.
know.
I know it. They're not gonna. This is the difference between them and a Newcastle and an Arsenal this year for me. Is
go on.
the other two in the Champions League and Man United. The other two in the Champions League. More often than not, you're playing better quality of team. You've got to put your best 11 out, right? You put your big boys out. Liverpool I don't even know Liverpool's group. Someone will tell me. I haven't even looked at it. I've got no interest, right?
Not that great, to be fair.
Right. I'm guessing that in Liverpool's group, they can bring in
the second team, basically.
Endo, Curtis Jones, and Elliott into midfield and still win games. They can leave Salah and Diaz out and still win games. They can put Tsimikas at left back instead of Robertson and still win the game. There's a huge difference between that and having to play your best 11 in the Champions League and the Premier League every other day. Every other week. So for me, I think they'll be absolutely fine. Look, everyone said that they were done and they've got 10 points from 12. I know you said they've got Wolves next. And then a couple of games after that they come to Spurs. So that'll be I'm looking forward to that. That'll be an interesting game.
They got Lask in Austria, and then they got Leicester City in the cup, and then they've got you lot.
Yeah, you watch against Lask and against Leicester City. I don't expect to see their best 11 out at all.
No, I don't know.
Mix and match.
They have to mix and match. Honesty or tenses says question. What's your guys' opinion in Coleman being pissed that Gravenberch is choosing to stay at LFC instead of to work with Klopp? I mean, I rate it. I mean, it's just is it if it's not a friendly, it's a qualifier, right?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look who Netherlands have got.
Yeah, go on. Let's have a look at that.
Let's have a look. So they have got. Here we go. So the Netherlands club, they are playing Greece on the 7th. So they're playing Greece tomorrow, and then they're away to Ireland a few days later. Look, I would fancy Netherlands shouldn't have a problem in winning either of those two games without Gravenberch.
Someone said it's the under-21s as well. The under-21s.
Oh, under-21s. Oh.
See, who cares?
Oh.
See, I don't care. I think Koeman's a shit manager anyways. I think his time's done. They just keep recycling the same managers in the Netherlands. Never works. Won't work under Koeman. It's already going crap anyways. Yeah. So I rate what Gravenberch is doing. I don't mind it because you know what? He's had a torrid time at Bayern where he's barely been given any minutes. He's eager to play football. Maybe the under-21s, to be fair, might have been good to get some fitness back, but he's got to get up to scratch for what Klopp wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, 2 weeks. I'm all for it.
Yeah, if he wants to do that and he's excited to be in and around the camp and embed himself that way, because he's still young, he's not 27, so he's a bit of a different mentality before he grows up a little bit. He just wants to be in and around the club, and that's totally fine. The Dutch team's finished for now anyways. They've got nothing great going on. I think the Dutch will become good again probably in another few years or so when a lot of these young lot like Sven Botman, etc., get better. Van der Ven, yada, yada, yada. Gravenberch of the world.
Yeah, Gakpo, Gravenberch.
It's not like it's under the Dutch national. If it's a national team, the actual national team, I could have saw Gravenberch going instead because it's a men's team. You're playing under 21 football. Who gives a crap? What?
Yeah.
Windsor Soldier, are you sure?
What's happened?
Windsor Soldier, you just gifted 50 Never a Foul memberships. I big up yourself.
50.
Look, I'll name them out. Honesty, you're a member now. Keegan, you're a member. Ulf Vida, you're a member. Doms Dewsbury, Ruben, Joseph, MCFC, Alex, Ivor, Ashwin, Jessica. Oh, Jessica, you've been here for the longest. Tyrese as well. Prashant, Keegan. There's loads. Heavy TSA, King Bucks, Tensors. I big up yourself for all those memberships, man. It's still giving them out randomly, man. Sub to the Mancunian way. I big up yourself for all those memberships. That's big, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money a month.
Yeah, man.
Big up to him.
I mean, he's a gold member as well, and you'll be coming on this Sunday. Just for that alone, you're definitely just tell me if you're available this Sunday. Let me know, and you'll be on with the members anyways. Because gold members get 3 chances to come on per month. If you're gold, if you're silver, it's just 1. Like the Olus of the world that don't want to upgrade. So, yeah,
fair play to him. That's really good.
Big up to yourself. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna dive into the last little part because I spoke on it so briefly yesterday because we're still talking about who's going to be in around the top fours, and we're going to probably go into proper discussion about it later on tonight and talk about the transfers and what's going to get who where. Your club, I haven't actually spoke to a Tottenham fan. Yesterday we put into the what's it called? What's it called? Put into the panel, even the group, about Tottenham being dark horses for the top four. Mo, out of all of a sudden, is a big believer in Tottenham. Massive believer. He's actually, if I'm correct, let me check here. Like some people can check here quickly. Mo, somebody's at the predictions. Let me just check where Mo put it. Mo put you lot fifth. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, Mo put you lot fifth. Do you reckon it's something sustainable for you to go and grab just for the last 5 minutes?
Look, my stance hasn't changed on this for any show that I've been on. I think Spurs have a very good 11. I think we play some really good football. We've got a good 11. And I think, and hear the word in this before everyone jumps on this, if, right? Massive word in football. If we can play once a week and none of those players get injured, I think we make top 4 or 5 easily. However, Kaz, football isn't played like that. And the problem that Spurs have got is the moment Basuma gets injured, the drop off from Basuma to the next player is massive. Yeah. The moment James Maddison gets injured, the drop off from James Maddison to the next player is massive. The moment Van der Ven or Romero gets injured, the drop off is massive. So look, if football was about an 11 and about that 11 staying fit, playing once a week with no Europe, we're out the League Cup, I would say, yeah, why not? The big test for Spurs is going to be when we get a few injuries. And also, we've got 3 of our main 11 that are going to the Asian Games, the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations. So we're going to lose Sonny and Papa Sarr and Ibasuma in January. So look, it's going to be interesting. Can we do it? Yes. Will we do it? It's early days. I'm not getting carried away. Good start. And look, our next game is good as well. Have you seen who we've got in our next game?
Tottenham has let me double check that because I remember.
I know. Don't worry. I want to tell you.
I want to guess. I want to see it myself. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Right, Sheffield United at home. Now, here's the thing, right? Again, football's not played on paper, but I think most
after the break, man, flipping
right. Most people, right, Kaz, if they're doing their betting slips, are going to put that as a home win. Tottenham win that, all of a sudden we're 13 points from 15 points, right? But the big test, Kaz, the 2 games after that are Arsenal away and Liverpool at home. Let's see where we are after those games, and then I'll let you know whether or not I think we're going to finish top 4 or 5. But listen, he's changed the club in a matter of months. Everything about the club feels different. We're playing football again. People are enjoying watching Tottenham Hotspur again. So I'm positive about it, but it's very early days. I've been here before, and look, we just got to keep everyone fit. How does he integrate Brennan Johnson into the team? Is going to be interesting. Can Son keep scoring? It's all well and good scoring a hat trick, but
I don't believe it. You know what? I saw it. This is my issue with Son. He done it against Leicester, another team that wasn't exactly great last year. And he scored a hat trick, and then he just went missing a little bit. It's just, I remember I said this to you. Sonny needs to go up front, left foot, right foot. I said it to Sean as well. Big up Sean all the time. He needs to go up front because Richarlison stinks, and all of a sudden your attack looks a lot more fluid. Even if his Son loses up front, who cares? He's your best finisher in your team. Left foot, right foot. And that's the scary part. Left foot, right foot. Yes, he's definitely lost a burst of speed. But, you know,
he's a finisher.
He's a finisher.
That's his strength. We said this all summer, Kaz. For me, I never want to see Richarlison in a Spurs shirt. I don't want to see it. He's not good. Sonny, now it'll be interesting. When we play against the kind of low block teams, like I'm guessing, somebody on the chat will probably tell me I'm wrong, Sheffield United are going to come to White Hart Lane, right?
Doesn't matter.
They're going to put 10 in front of the keeper. They're the games where Spurs have struggled to break down, but that's why you've now brought in James Maddison.
That's why your fullbacks are going to be so key for you, because you know what your fullbacks do? They're so advantageous. When you got Romero and a Van der Ven and a Basuma to cover, Sheffield United don't have a lot of pace. This is why I said, are they the underdogs? Are they the dark horses in this whole situation? My point is a no pressure Spurs is a dangerous Spurs in my eyes. I've
I
seen it
agree.
so many times under Conte when there was no pressure to get that. Remember, he was down and out in like 8th or 10th at a point. Conte got you top 4. You know, Jose Mourinho in the first season of at the start, especially, we're looking great. It's that point in December. The question you could probably hang it on to, does Levy go back into the market in January to find maybe that one bit of cover that you might need, whether it's in defense, whether it's in the attack mid, or whether it's in a striking option? One has to come in if you really want to solidify a potential finish, because top 5 can potentially get you Champions League this year. And I guarantee you want to be in some sort of competition where you can elevate yourself. That's
Mate,
it.
this is it. Look, and again, these are all hypotheticals, right? I never talk in absolutes with Tottenham. I've supported them far too long, Kaz, to know how it goes. If we get to the turn of the year, because if you actually look at Spurs' run of games between now and the turn of the year, there's a lot of winnable games. Now, that's on paper, for sure. But if we get to the turn of the year, Kaz, and we're in that top 4, and we're going well, you've just hit the nail on the head. Does Daniel Levy turn around and go, oh, I'm really happy with where we are? Or does he go, you know what? Let's add a couple of players, big push, not to win it. I'm not talking about that. Big push, solidify yourself back in that top 4. Then we go again in the summer.
Might be
That's what Daniel Levy does.
Might be even to shout out the whole top 6 situation. Let's say, are Tottenham still a top 6 club? Newcastle, because they got money and stuff, etc., etc. You need to get your. This is what they say. You need to get your lick back. That's the saying.
Yeah, look, I mean, one year out of the top 6 for me didn't make me think we weren't a top 6 club. But you've got to, you've got to get yourself back in there. For me, there's no pressure on Postecoglou this year. I think the start we've had to the season with 10 points from 12 is giving a lot of people renewed optimism. But beat Sheffield United, and then if you can beat one of Liverpool or Arsenal, you've had a great start to the season. Beat them both. You're flying.
Losing to Arsenal at the Emirates ain't the worst thing in the world. As a Tottenham fan, it will feel hurt because you might feel you might have a slight chance depending. But yeah, Honesty, he says, off-topic question: will James Ward-Prowse ever get a chance to play for England? He has played for England before, to be fair. And Sava, I'm sure you have a better striker at your academy than Richarlison. I mean, they just bought a kid from Argentina.
Yeah, we bought Valise from Argentina. We've got the young kid, 20, 21, whatever it is, that we bought from Chelsea, Sunsot Bell, who's in the youth team as well. And we've also got a young striker who's quite good called Jamie Donnelly. Scarlett's out on loan. Are any of them ready? I'm not sure. Would I want to see any one of them above Richarlison? Yes, I would. I'd rather see Kaz up front over Richarlison. I think he is.
I'm lazy, man. Actually, I say I'm lazy, but
don't care. Never want to see Richarlison again.
I'm not a finisher, man. I mean, inside the box, I'm
neither's Richarlison.
Oh yeah, there we go. You got this thing. Pay me whatever money he's getting per month.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I wouldn't mind. I'll quit YouTube, man. Fuck you lot. Oh my god, Neil, you're still in here begging it, man. Flipping hell. Cass don't use no he's arrogant. You know what? Maybe I am a little bit arrogant. So what? Aren't we all a little bit arrogant? Is that the Riot 2690? Is that who I think it is? Let me check this. Is that the Riot I think it is from school? Let me go on your channel. Let's see if I can see your picture. No, it's not. You're not the guy that I was thinking about. Never mind.
Just quickly, Romsey in the chat has asked me, is Troy Parrott still at Spurs? Troy Parrott's gone on loan to Excelsior Rotterdam in the Dutch league.
That's not a bad move.
He's got 1 year left on his contract, so
not a bad move for him.
Yeah, he'll leave at the end. He'll leave next summer.
Hey, you're asking where the hoodies are, but I mean, go on our if you actually go on our Never a Foul page on YouTube, you'll find that there is Never a Foul basic merch if you want to have a browse and if you want to buy something from there. So it's all there, man. Bailey, if you want to do something. I mean, you could also support by becoming a member if you wish. It's up to you, Bailey. Since you've been a member for the longest, I'm just saying the gold membership is right there. But yeah, man, big up Sava for joining us, for joining me, shall I say. Also, make sure you subscribe to Sava on Football Heritage TV. Literally in the description, top part, can't miss it. You hit more if you're on your phones, close your live chat. You hit the X button. Literally press more.
Yeah.
and it will say Football Heritage TV, little thing that's highlighted, and
And
get
I'm
him
that
over
close,
to-
Kaz. I'm that close to 11K. I'm like 75 away from 11K.
Hey, look, you see what I mean? After 10K, you fly. You fly.
So
You
yeah,
know?
if anyone would be so kind to hit that. And can I just do a bit of shameless self-promotion if that's all right, Kaz?
And how much paying?
I'm not paying anything. You'll find out why in a second. Listen, on Saturday midday through to Sunday midday, I'm doing a live 24-hour charity stream for the British Heart Foundation. So if anyone does want to get involved, watch the stream, donate, whatever, then please do. So it's a massive thing. It's really close to my heart. Both my parents died of heart problems, so this is the big one for me. So yeah, so smash up the subscribe, come and watch that. And Kaz, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
It's all right, man. And big up King Winter Soldier once more, man, because that's massive, man. So I appreciate that. I don't know whose streams are currently going on at this moment of time. I thought Lewis is meant to be live. Is Lewis not live? Who's live? Is anyone? I'm gonna it doesn't matter. He's gonna go live. I'm gonna redirect to Lewis right now. So if you're a Chelsea fan, you want to hear some crying, and you want to hear Alex talk some shit that even though you don't understand half the words he says. Big up for Tur though, logical Chelsea fan like Lewis in ways. Yeah, man, go over there. It will take you right there. Big up yourselves, man, in a bit.